So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we'll be using the pen tool to remove the backgrounds from objects. So first we're going to create a new document. So we're going to go to File and New. We're going to set the dimensions. 8 by 5 times 15 is okay, and the resolution we can set it as 300 if we're going to print it. So let's go. So in the layers panel, you'll see background. So all we have is a white background. So let's create a new layer that we are going to use this new layer to place the object that we are going to be cutting out. So let's go to browse to where this object is located on my machine. So File, Place, let's go to Libraries, this PC, sorry, Data, and we can go into the business flyer. So you will store it wherever and then you just browse for it. So this is the apple that I am going to be cutting out from this green background to just give me the apple by itself. So now it's in a bounding box. This bounding box is the same as using, if you click the shortcut Control T, transform, that allows you to do all sorts of transforms. So this is one transform, moving it. I just clicking on it and moving it while this layer is selected over here. So we can move it. Sorry, can move it. You can also rotate it. If you go to the side and now the arrow is bended, rounded, it means that you can rotate, right? So when you go outside, the arrow will become rounded and you can rotate. You can also move the pivot point from the center and put it down here, and now when you rotate it will rotate about this point. So we say rotate. If you rotate here, it's still around the point. That is not what we want. So what we're going to be doing is putting it back and then put back the pivot point in the center. You can also scale by going to the corner of any one of these and you will see a diagonal arrow. Once it's there, you can hold on shift for it to scale proportionally, meaning that you scale both the width and the length. So I scale it out. Oh, sorry, I made a tiny mistake, so it needs a little bit more length. Let's move it over, and that's it. So with this bounding box, you are able to both move, to rotate, and to scale. Now, after you have finished all of this, because you're just bringing it in, you're going to commit the transform. So you're finished with it now, and you're making a commitment. So I'm finished, make my commitment. You will see this black box on it. It means that the pixels are not editable at this point. So how do you edit it is to rasterize it by right clicking on the text itself, and you will see rasterize the layer. So now you have rasterized it. The little black box is gone. It means that it's now editable. So the pen tool is actually located right above the text tool here. This is the pen tool. Let's select this pen tool, Control plus to zoom it in so we can see what we're doing. Now the pen tool, you can use it to remove backgrounds. So let's say that you're working with an area that is rectangular. All you just need to do is just to click at the edge of the rectangle point. So we're just going to say that we just want to remove this little piece right below here. So we just click. If it's an angular point, right, you just click at the edge of these angular points, hold on shift for it to be a straight one, and there, there's, and let's put this right here, and then you're going to say right here, make selection, make sure that the selection is new selection will be there by default, and then you're going to say okay. Once that's selected, now you can hit delete, and that will delete it. That's for square parts. So Control Alt Z, that's not really what we want for today. We want to remove the apple from this thing. So Control Alt Z to remove it. So this is what we're going to do. I'm just I'm going to go now to this particular thing. So the apple, it is not straight, it doesn't have angular edges or straight edges, it's rounded. So you can use the pen tool to also cut out things that are round or of any shape really. So when we're doing something that is round, you're now going to click once. Sorry, that wasn't done properly. You're going to click once at the edge, and when you click a second time, you're going to see some angles, and you need to learn how to manipulate the angles for there. Now the first thing is, when you're cutting out something that is rounded, you need to ask yourself, where do I know to click where from? So in this case, when something is rounded, you're going to think about a curve, where the curve would stop, or you think about a C. So from here to here would make a C. When you reach right here, from here to here will make another C. So think about a C in small parts, especially when you're a beginner. Just do it in small parts, and then you'll get control over the angle and the anchor points. When you have mastered that, then you can use very few steps to use the pen tool. Overall, what you want to do is to use to just click from here to there and just do your selection. But sometimes you don't have control, so to speak, of the angles as yet. So in order to avoid all of that, what we're going to do, we're going to do it in smaller steps until you guys can do the bigger steps. So here we are now. So control minus to get back in. So we're looking at C. So right here to right here is a good C. And remember, once you click, don't let go of the mouse. So a lot of novices, when they click, they release the mouse. This is what is done, right? If I can tell you, you click right here, Control at Z. So you click right here when you're making the second click, you're up, and then you release the mouse, and then you're doing this, and all sort of madness goes on. But no, that's not what you're supposed to do. You're expected that once you click once, the second time when you click, do not release the mouse. So you hold on to the mouse and you drag out until you get the curve. You move the handles until you get the curve. So right now, I'm going to tell you, you can move your hand to the right or the left. When you move your hand to the left, you can see that it's closing in. When you move it to the right, it's closing out. When you drag it out, it's getting bigger. When you drag it in, it's getting smaller. So you have control to drag in, out, side to side, right, left, up, down, until you catch the outline or the curve. So you need to remember that we're trying to cut this thing out going around. So you need the outline of the object. So right now, for the angles tool, to bring back this angle down here, use Alt, and to keep it in the direction of the outline of the object. So I'm just going to click right here, and I'm mindful that I'm going to have another angle coming out right there. So while I'm there, I'm pulling out straight across until I see that it has fit, and I'm going to move that a little bit up to the left until I see that it has fit the contour. So when I zoom in right here, I'm just thankful for these mistakes that I am making. I realize that this thing needs to go down. So to do that, I'm going to use Control to pull it back down. If I see something that looks a little bit off, I can always use Control to pull it there. So now I can click and go across. But if I click and go across, you can see that I will be leaving out the stem. I don't want that. So I'm just going to go around the outline of the stem. So I'm going to click here. Sorry. I'm searching for the forward angles. A little bit of a problem, ain't it? Yeah, so all I'm just going to do now is Control Alt minus for it to go in. Use Alt and put it to where I would like it, about here. Control plus. And it's climbing. Loving of Jesus. Yes, God, you are worthy. Yes, Lord, you are worthy. And so I'm just going to just click slowly and go around small increments. Control minus. I'm just going to create another C, and let's say my C stops here. My imaginary C in my mind stops here. Then I'm going to Alt, pull it back as close as to the point, the last point that you will have is the better. Make sure that's on the outline. So I'm going to create my next C about here. Would be my C. Let's see if I could get my C there. Good. Hold on, it's a little bit crazy. So all I'm going to do is just close this when I'm finished. I'm just going to go in with my control to click on the points again and see what did I do wrong. So I'm just going to pull back this point. You know that God is good. I'm going to put in another point from here. So I'm going to go to the pen tool and I'm going to add an anchor point to this. And I'm just going to use control to put it back to this, and then control again to pull this out so that it's rounded, if you understand what I'm doing. Control so it's rounded. Now I'm just gonna right click, make selection. By default, new selection is selected. Say OK. While all of that is selected, I am going to delete the selection. So if I delete, you notice that it is the object itself that is selected. If I delete, then the object is gone. But we actually want the opposite of the apple or the object. We need the background. So Control at Z, we're going to choose the opposite now of the object that is selected. So we can actually go to select, then go to inverse, select the inverse, right? So that is Shift Control Alt. I'm just going to use the shortcut Control Shift I, sorry, not Alt, but I, Control Shift I to select the inverse, and I'm going to say delete, and then you will see that the background is all gone. So right now, as is, I can actually go find a woman, cut her out, put the apple in her hand, and it's like Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, though it wasn't an apple or whatsoever. And then you can have that, for example, creating your own compositions once you are able to remove different backgrounds. So Control D to deselect. The next thing now, I'm going to show you very quickly. Let's say that you actually want to change a particular area on a person. You can use the pen tool to select the area and change the color or do some photo manipulation. Let's look at it. So I'm just going to turn off this eye, the visibility of this layer by turning off the eye. On this layer, I'm going to import or place the particular person. So I was going to place that in. So this brown eye woman, I'm going to make her eyes actually blue, and it's going to look like naturally blue. Control plus, and all I'm going to do is to just select the ear with her eye. I'm going to duplicate this layer in case I make a mistake. Duplicate, and then we can also use it to compare. I don't have to rasterize because I'm not going to go on the item, but I'm going to create a new layer where I'm going to do my adjustments. So I say new layer, call it blue eye 1. So one of the eyes them for now. All I'm just going to do is to go P for the pen tool because it's still on free pen tool. We want to go on the normal pen tool. So the normal pen tool I just clicked a while ago. So I'm undoing. So normal pen tool, let's zoom into the eyes of this woman, and this is what I'm going to do. I think you guys gotta practice this to undertake some of the stuff of this similar thing. So here we are with this pen tool, just going around the eye till we come back about here. Yeah, so right now I'm just going to fill it with a particular blue, so I can actually say right click, fill the path, the color, click on the color, and I am going to give it one of those blues, teal blue, teal. Say okay, and it should give me this blue over eye. So that is not what we're after. So we're going to use a blending option and just say U, and I'm just going to, for now, removing the path so it does look like the color itself, and then you can actually see that our eyes are blue. No, one eye is blue, and you can do it for the other one. Let me just do that very quickly. So blue eye 2, well, yeah, blue eye 2. Another E in there for it to be blue eye 2. So this is supposed to be blue eye 1. So blue eye 2, let's do it over there to our eye, and we just use the same pen tool. Yeah, mama. Yeah, yes. Who needs contacts when you can actually just do it in Photoshop? You can Photoshop all your pictures to whatever you like. So right click, fill path, the color that is there. Let's see if it's on the right color. It's the color is already stored in there from the last one. So we'll just say okay. Okay. And the blending options is just you. Right now I can't get rid of the path. So anyway, let's go in and I'll say, let me delete the path. And there is what I have. This blue eye woman who originally had brown eyes. Some of the brown is still there, and you can see that my blending options that I actually use is there. So let me turn off the visibility of these two eyes, and there's a woman with her brown eye, blue eye, that type of thing. And yeah, this could be an ad if I wanted to, like, her lips are so dry and like, girl, let me give you a little bit of more lip. Let me, like, at least do her bottom lip. I know this is not a makeup tutorial, but it's just some of the things that you could do in your photo manipulation, just selecting an area and transforming it into whatever you want to do. So apply the blending modes to it. Just have fun, really. Fill the color, and I will just give her a new color, like, I don't know, like pink. That's too pink, that's too purple, that's too pink. I'll give her like a very light pink lips for there. Even the opacity, let Let me try the opacity on it. I don't know if I would actually leave it on like this. For her, or I would just want to jazz it up a little bit. The U, that was the U, right? The U is just, I don't know, I just not feeling the U. The hard mix, let's see the pin light. Pin light is not bad at all compared to where she's coming from. I mean, girl. If I make your lip any more pinker, yeah, so that could work in jazzing up her lip, to, you know, to make it look actually, yes, she have a little more than natural. Women should not wear makeup, right? I agree. Only in movies they should. Lips. Lips. So I'm moving on now. I'm just going to do the other lip. Just, you know, I mean, you don't have to sit and listen to all of this. You can just see me just going around, clicking small increments, pulling out, and yep, 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 yep. It's like night. Yeah. And one sleep. Anyway, so the lip is there, and this is a top lip. I am just going to take the same thing so that I get back the same effect. So just see, this is actually 43, so I'm just going to turn this down to 43. I'm going to block it, write 43 in it. You can tell me what to do. I'm just going to block you and write 43%, and the pin light. Oh, but guess what? We didn't fill it with the pink. So right click, make selection, new selection. Okay. Or is it? Let me Control Z. Fill the path with this particular color. And there we are. I'm just going to go to this thing, delete the path work, and there we have pink lip, green eyes. I might have overdone it. Her lip is a little bit bigger. Pink lips, aqua eyes. That's a particular effect. Yeah, for that one. So let's look at her before and after picture. So if I go to, let's take a before and after picture. Anyway, the natural look is always great, but that's what we did for before. And of course, if we're doing all of this together, we would want to group them. Group. So select them, drop them in the group. Once they're in the group now, they would actually move as a group. And we could say before and, oh man, guys, guess what? Our lip didn't make it into the group. So I was moving everything else, but her lip wasn't in the group. So now our lip is now, yeah. So now everything moves at one, or we could just combine the layers, whatever. So we can move them as one. So we say before with T, Jesus, you are excellent to be praised before. And then we can have or after down there. And that's it for us.